I'm here at Waikolua-Loko-I'a with Lieutenant Colonel Pokap, who is the Environmental Director at Kaneohe Base, Hawaii. Glad you could be with us.
Thank you.
Environmental Director for the Marine Base.
Mm-hmm.
What does that entail?
What that means is that I'm the advisor to the base commanding officer on all of his environmental issues. I have a team of staff that are media area experts in water quality, air quality, natural resource conservation, cultural resource management, and we'll put together our advice, our information, and recommendations to the base commanding officer for projects, for public relations, for stewardship, and that kind of thing. So for me as the environmental director, we work on a wide range of programs, from pollution prevention, so that's recycling and solid waste management, hazardous waste, conservation, which would be environmental planning, which would be natural resources, conservation law enforcement, kind of like a ranger, but they're on the Marine Corps properties, making sure that we're complying with our natural resource conservation, cultural resource conservation laws. And also do compliance, and compliance is where we check with all of our tenant, inspect all of our tenant organizations on base, all of our installation offices on base, that they're complying with federal, state, local, DOD environmental regulations.
I had no idea that a military base would be so committed to where we are. Was this your background?
So I've always had an interest in water quality, water resource management, and then natural resources. I've always loved the outside, outdoors. Got into the Marine Corps 25 years ago at this point, and pursued flying helicopters. Most of my career, got to
Helicopters.
fly
So you were
helicopters.
looking at the environment from
the air,
above.
looking down, right? But then I found out that there's an environmental officer job in the Marine Corps. Not very many of us, but there's a couple, and so I got some graduate education and became an environmental officer about the last 7 years or so.
There must be challenges because the whole, I guess, the persona of the military has been in the past to be maybe on the land, not with the land.
The Marine Corps is empowered or required to, or entrusted as stewards of the resources that we have. So my position is the bridge between that stewardship and supporting the mission. So it's a very interesting and frankly, it's a rewarding challenge for me to try to do that stewardship, promote it, take care of all the resources that we have while we're supporting the mission at the same time. So that ends up being the challenge, but the reward of my job.
It's quite a progressive mission. You know, I'm very touched to hear this. You know, having grown up in Hawaii myself, and it must be exciting for your children to be here.
Oh, they love it. They love it. I will say one funny story. I came from the desert, the Mojave Desert, and one of my young children, she was 4 at the time, and she goes, "Daddy, this place looks just like the desert, except there's less palm trees." And we look around at the water and go, "How can you say that?" But the kids love it. My wife loves it out here. And the work is really the best part of it. The people we're working with, the resources that we're working with, the land that we're living with is incredible.
How might we support the mission that you are promoting?
So the mission for us is to support the warfighter, support the Marines, support readiness, force projection. That's the mission of the base. So I guess awareness that is our priority. Additionally, we also look at volunteerism. We're trying to get as many partners as we can from inside the base population, but also in the community. We do things like Weed Warriors, where every 2 months we are pulling out invasive species in our fish ponds or our wildlife management areas. We do beach cleanups, recycling efforts. And so getting community involvement in that is a priority, and we're trying to expand that as we go.
Well, thank you so much for your dedication to our islands.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
And also for appreciating, who we are.
I would love to do it.
Thank you so much. You've just had the opportunity to meet Lieutenant Colonel Pokap, who is the Environmental Director with the Kaneohe Marine Base, Hawaii. Aloha.